Hello, welcome back to another session by Digital Titans, and we would be talking about keyword planning and finding effective keywords using a concept called mind mapping. It is very usual for you to figure out that people go to Keyword Planner, rush through the process of finding keywords, where you end up putting in the keyword ideas that you may have regarding your product, and you very quickly take the suggestions that Google gives you and add all the keywords you think that may be relevant to your product or service. Now, contrary to that approach, what I suggest is using a mind map tool, which would not only let you think beyond your scope of finding very specific keywords, it gives you a chance to explore what the other complementing keywords for your product or service may be. For example, if I put in a keyword called office furniture in Keyword Planner, it would give me things very specific to office furniture, and I would go on about adding these keywords. Now, once I have done that for round one, I would have to copy these keywords again or search for another variation. And sometimes you get carried away and you lose track of certain keywords that you would have to search. So, contrary to that, what I would suggest is using a mind map tool even before you get into the process of finding keywords. Now, how this works is if you put in a keyword called office furniture, which is your central theme, you would start making a note of all the things that may be relevant to office furniture so that you have everything available in one framework. Then you could go to Keyword Planner and use these keyword suggestions to find the relevant keywords. Now let's get started. So office furniture, when you talk about office furniture, the first thing that comes to your mind is maybe office chairs. So let's see if let's make a note of office chairs. Now, when you talk about office chairs, you could be talking about chairs which are high chairs, chairs which are revolving chairs, right? And then once you're done with office chairs, maybe the next thing that comes to your mind is office desks. So let's put in office desks. Now, once you're done with this, office desks would contain things like standing desks, maybe. So you put in standing desks, and then you have computer desks, or maybe you have something called as cubicles. Right now, when you talk about cubicles, cubicles could further be divided or could be categorized into, let's say, a four-seater cabinet or cubicle, or maybe you have something which is a six-seater cubicle. Right? Or you could be talking about a linear cubicle which appear in line, which is like an open office setup. So you put in the word called linear cubicle. Now then, let's say office chairs, you have included these things. Now standing desks could be classified into, let's say, wooden desks, or maybe you could have the ones which are made of metal, so metal desks, right? Now, then you go about and start talking about another category. Let's say you're talking about conference tables. Now, conference tables can be 20-seater tables, or maybe a 10-seater table, right? And then you have something called as workstations, right? And maybe you have, let's say you have footrest, for example. And footrests can be classified into the standard footrests. So these are the ones which reduce the stress when you're working. And it could be ergonomic footrests, right? Now the logic here, all that I'm trying to tell you is it is not that you can't figure out these keyword ideas or keyword variations using Keyword Planner. But think about it, this is so much simpler when you use a mind map. where you just have a keyword, a central keyword, which is called as office furniture. And right here in front of you, you have a list of all related, relevant, complementing keywords or keyword ideas that you could go to Keyword Planner and search for. And often times what happens is when you directly go to Keyword Planner and search for office furniture, the keyword suggestions that Google AdWords would throw are very, very closely related to office furniture, and things like pedestals or footrests could be neglected, or the system doesn't understand that you're looking for those things because they did not appear in your keyword ideas. So using a mind map can clearly help you identify by just making a note of whatever happened. Now this is any day better than a pen and paper, because you could go and classify these things endless. Now if you started with office desks and you came to something called as standing desks, and then you could further classify them into wooden desks, and let's say these could further be classified into the ones which are made of oak, or maybe the ones which are made of, let's say, teak. Right now, there's no ending to it. You could have a clear cut idea of how these things would map out when you search for keywords. So I would suggest this is a very, very, very good way to come up with keyword ideas even before you find keywords. Now I hope you enjoyed this, and this could be used with any product or service. And not just this, you could, in case you need to make a note of something, or you would want to make a comment, let's say, now when I'm talking about high chairs, I want to focus upon things like best chairs, right? I want to talk about something related to cheap. So just in case I don't forget about these things in future, I just make a comment of these things. Now you talk about office chairs. While we were speaking, I thought you could also look at another variation called as mesh chairs. So these would be the ideal kinds of chairs, or the categories of chairs that one could look for office chairs. Now this would help you come up with a detailed plan as to what to search in Keyword Planner than just jumping onto Keyword Planner and finding keywords. Now this would give you a sort of completeness to your keyword finding process, and you just wouldn't stop at exactly the keywords related to your product or service, but this would give you a 360-degree of all the relevant keywords and services which you would have missed otherwise, where you just tried using Keyword Planner directly. And I think I was able to make sense when I spoke to you about this, and hope you find this useful, and you could also try finding keywords using the same process. Now the tool that I have used to find these keywords, or the mind map that I've used, is powered by something called as Xmind. You could go to xmind.net, download the version whether it's for Windows or for iOS, and then you could start building these mind maps for yourself. And I hope you find this useful, and I've also written a blog post about the same, and please do leave your comments and suggestions if you have any. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this.